The year is 170 AD. The location is the muddy, rushing banks of the Sequana River. Erase the glittering iron tower, the wide manicured boulevards, and the quiet romantic cafés from your mind. Long before it became the undisputed global capital of art and light, the city of Paris was a damp, heavily forested, and incredibly lucrative river fortress. The Romans call it Lutetia. To the empire, this is not a sprawling megacity of 1 million people like Rome or Alexandria. It is a bustling, incredibly strategic provincial boomtown of about 10,000 souls, perched on a small boat-shaped island in the middle of a massive river. But this island is the absolute geographic key to Northern Europe. It is the vital, beating artery connecting the Mediterranean world to the vast, untamed frontiers of Britain and the deep Germanic forests. Using advanced AI trained on the subterranean archaeological excavations beneath the Île de la Cité, the surviving limestone monuments of the Gallo-Roman guilds, and the remarkably preserved thermal baths of the Latin Quarter, we have completely resurrected the ancient origins of Paris. We are going to experience a city where the profound, deep-rooted soul of the Celtic Gauls is seamlessly fusing with the unstoppable engineering machine of the Roman Empire. Imagine navigating treacherous river currents on massive wooden barges, sitting in an amphitheatre that is half carved into a hillside, and standing beneath soaring concrete vaults in a land of ancient forests. This is 24 hours at the absolute foundation of France. The day begins at 5 a.m. A heavy, thick white fog sits low over the cold, swirling water of the river. You wake up in a large, comfortable stone and timber house situated directly on the Île de la Cité, the exact spot where the Cathedral of Notre-Dame will stand 1,000 years from now. You are not a Roman governor sent from Italy. You are a proud, indigenous member of the Parisiaci, the local Celtic tribe, but you do not wear rough woven furs. You wear a finely spun wool tunic and a heavy, waterproof cloak known as a cuculus. You are a senior member of the Nautae de Lutèce, the incredibly powerful, wealthy guild of the Parisian boatmen. You step out of your door and into the damp, biting morning air. The island is completely surrounded by a wooden palisade, but the real action is down at the muddy timber docks. You walk toward the water. The river is not constrained by high stone embankments yet. It is a sprawling, unpredictable force of nature, prone to massive seasonal flooding. Dozens of heavy, flat-bottomed wooden cargo barges are being loaded in the fog. Your guild controls absolutely everything that moves up and down the Sequana. You inspect the massive clay amphorae being hoisted onto the decks. They are filled with premium olive oil and thick wine imported from the sun-baked vineyards of Italy, destined for the military camps in the frozen north. In exchange, your boats will bring back massive salted hams from the Gallic forests, heavy iron tools, and highly prized hunting dogs. You are the undisputed master of this river, and that monopoly has made your guild the absolute political kings of the city. By 8 a.m., the fog begins to burn off, and you oversee a deeply important daily ritual. You walk toward the eastern edge of the island, where your guild has recently funded and erected one of the most spectacular, politically genius monuments in the entire Roman province of Gaul, the Pillar of the Boatmen. It is a towering, multi-tiered column made of gleaming white limestone. But it is what is carved into the stone that reveals the true genius of Lutetia. You look at the intricately sculpted blocks. On one side, you see the supreme Roman god Jupiter, king of the heavens. But right next to him, carved with equal reverence, is the ancient Celtic god Cernunnos, depicted with magnificent, branching stag antlers. On another block stands the Gallic woodcutter god, Isus, chopping down a willow tree. You place a small offering of silver coins and poured wine at the base of the pillar. This monument is a brilliant, unspoken contract. Your tribe has entirely accepted the Roman economy and their engineering, but you have fiercely retained your own ancient woodland soul. The gods of Rome and the gods of the deep forest share the exact same stone, keeping the peace and ensuring that the river continues to flow with immense wealth. By 10 a.m., you cross the river to manage your financial ledgers. You walk across the Petit Pont, a sturdy, engineered wooden bridge that connects the island to the left bank, the Rive Gauche. The moment your boots hit the southern shore, the entire layout of the world completely changes. The island is a cramped, organic maze of ancient houses, but the left bank is a masterpiece of uncompromising Roman urban planning. You are stepping onto the Cardo Maximus, the perfectly straight paved main avenue that runs directly up the slope of Mount Lucretius. The street is lined with covered porticos, protecting the pedestrians from the rain and the sun. You walk uphill toward the Forum, the absolute administrative core of Lutetia. The street is a cacophony of sound and commerce. The local dialect of the common people is a fascinating, rapid-fire mixture of ancient Celtic vocabulary, heavily layered with Latin, the very earliest, rough linguistic seeds of the French language. You hear blacksmiths hammering iron imported from the local bogs and bakers pulling fresh, crusty bread from communal brick ovens. You enter the Forum, a massive enclosed rectangular plaza spanning 2 entire city blocks. You walk into the Basilica, a towering roofed hall where the magistrates hold court. You meet with a Roman tax official, a man sent all the way from Lyon to audit the river trade. You do not argue with him. You present your perfectly organized wax tablets, scratched with an iron stylus. You show him the precise volume of timber and grain your guild has shipped this month. You pay the imperial tax in heavy brass Sestertii. The Roman official stamps your ledger, deeply impressed by the sheer, unbending efficiency of the Gallic merchants. By 2 p.m., the administrative work is done, and the entire city begins to shift toward leisure. You leave the Forum and walk eastward down the slope of the hill toward a magnificent, uniquely local structure, the Arènes de Lutèce. In Rome or Verona, they build massive, freestanding oval colosseums out of thousands of tons of concrete. But here in Lutetia, the architects have been far more practical. They have carved the seating directly into the natural slope of a massive bowl-shaped hill. It is a stunning hybrid structure. It features a flat, circular arena for gladiatorial bouts, but it also has an elevated, formal stage on one side for theatrical plays. It is half amphitheatre, half theatre. The stadium can hold nearly 15,000 people, which means that on a festival day, literally the entire population of the city and the surrounding countryside is packed into this single space. You take your seat in the lower reserved stone benches, sitting alongside the other wealthy merchants and magistrates. Behind you, sitting on the grassy terraced slopes of the hill, are the local farmers, the rivermen, and the artisans. Today, the entertainment is distinctly local. You are not watching exotic African lions or tigers. You are watching a highly skilled group of venatores, animal handlers, facing off against massive, incredibly aggressive wild boars and massive brown bears captured from the deep, uncharted forests of northern Gaul. The crowd roars in approval. It is a loud, incredibly rowdy atmosphere. The locals are drinking thick, dark Celtic beer, cervoise, out of wooden tankards, cheering for the hunters. The atmosphere lacks the stiff, imperial formality of the capital. It feels wilder, closer to the earth, a society that works incredibly hard on the river and demands intense, thrilling entertainment in return. By 5 p.m., the games conclude and you are covered in the fine white limestone dust of the arena. It is time for the absolute pinnacle of Roman luxury. You walk back toward the center of the left bank and enter the Thermes de Cluny, the monumental public baths of Lutetia. This complex is an architectural miracle in the middle of a frontier province. You walk into the frigidarium, the cold room. Your breath catches in your throat. Above you is an impossibly massive, soaring, ribbed concrete vault stretching 45 feet into the air. It is held up by stone consoles carved to look like the prows of merchant ships, a direct, unmistakable homage to your guild of boatmen who heavily funded the construction. You undress and move into the tepidarium, the warm room, and finally into the sweltering heat of the caldarium. Beneath the exquisitely tiled floors, slaves are feeding massive wood-fired furnaces, channeling hot air through the hollow brick pillars in the walls. In a land where the winters are freezing and damp, Stepping into a room that perfectly mimics the intense, dry heat of a Mediterranean summer is a luxury beyond price. You sit on a heated marble bench, sweating out the exhaustion of the docks. You converse with a traveling merchant from Hispania, negotiating the price of a future shipment of silver. The baths are the true social equalizer and the ultimate boardroom of antiquity. You are scraped clean with a curved bronze strigil, plunged into the freezing waters of the frigidarium, and emerge feeling utterly revitalized, wrapped in a clean, soft linen tunic. By 8 p.m, the sun begins to set over the sprawling Gallic countryside, casting a deep, golden reflection across the surface of the Sequana. You return to your spacious stone house on the island for the evening meal. The dining room of a wealthy Parisian merchant is a fascinating, delicious intersection of two worlds. You recline on wooden couches, adopting the Roman posture, but the feast on the table is heavily influenced by the rich agricultural bounty of the north. Your servants bring out massive silver platters. You are served fresh, perfectly roasted river trout caught just hours ago, seasoned with imported black pepper and local herbs. There is a hearty, rich stew of venison and root vegetables, accompanied by sharp, pungent sheep's cheese from the surrounding pastoral farms. You do not just drink local beer tonight. You open a sealed clay amphora of sweet, highly prized Falernian wine imported from the vineyards of Campania. You share this meal with your extended family and your ship captains. The conversation focuses on the unpredictable water levels of the river, the rising costs of raw timber, and the rumors of new, distant military campaigns being launched by Emperor Marcus Aurelius on the Danube frontier. But you feel entirely secure. Lutetia is an island fortress, protected by the rushing water and sustained by an unshakable, booming economy. You are living in a pocket of profound engineered stability. By 11 p.m, the city falls into a deep, peaceful quiet. The massive iron-reinforced wooden gates of the bridges connecting the island to the mainland are pulled shut and locked for the night. The Roman guards patrol the silent, moonlit grid of the left bank, while your own guild watchmen stand vigil over the dark, bobbing silhouettes of the cargo barges tied to the docks. You walk up to the flat, terraced roof of your home. The only light comes from the flickering oil lamps glowing faintly through the shuttered windows of the island and the brilliant, scattered canopy of stars above. You can hear the constant, relentless, rushing sound of the Sequana moving past the wooden pylons of the docks. You look toward the towering, dark silhouette of the Mount Lucretius hill in the south. You do not know that in less than a century, the political stability of the empire will shatter. You do not know that massive barbarian incursions will force the citizens of Lutetia to abandon the beautiful, open grid of the left bank, tear down their own monuments, and retreat entirely behind a massive, desperate stone wall built right here on this tiny island to survive. But you also do not know that the very river you command and the island you are standing on will prove so unbelievably resilient that it will survive the fall of Rome entirely. The language you speak will evolve. The temples will be replaced by soaring, sky-piercing Gothic cathedrals, and the small muddy docks will transform into the epicenter of a nation that will reshape the globe. Tonight, in the cool, damp air of the 2nd century, you are simply a merchant resting on an island. But you and your guild have laid the unbreakable stone foundation for the City of Light. You conquered the river, and in doing so, you anchored a legacy that will echo through the rest of human history. This video is brought to you by the Paladin Learn History app. Scan the QR code to learn more history.